Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to look at how to heal ourselves. It's all about self-healing. But of course, we do channel some helpful energies. Someone beyond the earthly realm. Someone with supernatural abilities and boundless love and care. I call him my 24/7 doctor. Doctor on call during lockdown, during curfew, any situation, or even when the physical doctors are sleeping at home. Archangel Raphael is the doctor that I can call anytime. It's been more than 10 years since I started Angels Reiki. So it's been a gradual introduction for me to get to know these amazing healers. Gradually, I tried getting their help, and eventually it came to a point that I know that when I call them, they are there. So that's the trick, really. You need to call them because angels can't just interfere in our lives. Even if they want to help, you need to call them. And today, a lot of you will understand how that can be done, and it takes away your fear, and they know what works for you. You don't need all these different scans and whatnot. They know what's wrong and they know what can be done. So it's a very safe way to heal yourself. It would be a supplement to your other kinds of healing. But eventually those who really rely on these masters for their healing realize that it would be a substantial percentage of your healing portfolio, calling in the masters and the light surgeons of the universe. The light surgeon word, I really love it. I thank my Angels Reiki Master friend Shimaya for giving me that word, because when one of our Angels Reiki Masters was having heart trouble in South Africa, we all banded together, fixed a time, and Shimaya from Canada, few people from different parts of the world, we gathered together and sent that energy. And at the end of it, Shimaya said the light surgeons are working on him, and true enough, he is now fine. I'm not saying that you can discard other ways of healing, but this would be a fantastic supplement, and especially when there have been situations where people are barred from reaching the hospitals, or also in situations where hospitals have been less than, they have been blindly following hand-me-down protocols without really checking the impact of these protocols. So in such situations, some of us prefer to trust in those who really have our interest, our best interest at heart, and the angels surely have our best interest at heart. So let me introduce you to Archangel Raphael's color is really green. So to represent Archangel Raphael, green, it symbolizes the green rays of healing spewing forth from the angel. Let me tell you some stories why I believe in Archangel Raphael. Well, many years ago, in this very apartment, we had an Archangel Raphael healing miracle. I don't call them miracles anymore because, when you work with the angels, these are day-to-day things. But it was stunning at that moment, and I'm so grateful even in this moment, which is why I'm sharing these methods with you, so that if you find yourself alone at home and your family's at work or far away, and something is happening and you wake up and you're afraid, you can call on Archangel Raphael immediately you will be attended to. Even before ambulances get to you, they'll be working on you. Actually, this now reminded me of a second incident that I can share with you when my daughter was taken to the emergency. I'll tell you both examples. So the very first one, long ago, this apartment was unfurnished. I was living in another apartment just down the lane, but we were excited to stay here for one night. So me and my 4-year-old daughter at the time, we came and we had a big bean bag which was the size of a bed. So we flattened it like a bed and we snuggled on that, and we were so excited to spend the night here. But I was woken up around 4 o'clock in the night and my daughter had a high fever. Now I was panicking because it was dark and I didn't know how I could carry her plus the bags. And at 4 in the morning I felt quite helpless because I hadn't brought Panadol or any of the usual medication. And as I was trying to process what to do, I suddenly remembered Archangel Raphael. But I think it wasn't generated from within me. I feel that he reminded me of him. So somehow this Archangel Raphael entered into my thoughts and I thought, yes. And I relaxed. I didn't even do anything specific. I felt like he took charge and I relaxed and I fell asleep next to her because I was also deeply being healed. Because I'm an Angels Reiki Master, they are used to, and my system is used to channeling the angel energies over 10 years. So they were able to utilize my auric field and download the healing for my little daughter. And then I opened my eyes. I have no clue how long that took. Maybe 5 minutes, maybe more. And I checked her temperature and she had no temperature at all. That high fever was gone. And you'd be amazed that that entire period, maybe even the weeks to come, there was no complaint from her at all and there was definitely no fever. I hope this gives you confidence about caring for little ones and the elderly. Now there's another example. So one day we were at a little bakery and we had ordered some food. My daughter was 3 at the time and she was jumping up and down on a sofa at that bakery. And because she was so small, I tried to tell her, she wouldn't listen, she forgets, and then she's jumping up and down. And suddenly she fell and knocked her head on some corner of the sofa. And worst of all, she started vomiting as well. So even the people at the bakery said, better take her to the hospital. And I knew I had to take her to the emergency. So I pack her in the back seat, and as I'm driving, I'm trying to talk to her, and then I look back and she had fainted. I can't tell you how helpless I felt in that moment, because as a mother, I needed to cuddle her and look into her, but I also had to drive the car to the emergency, so I had to... It was a very helpless moment for me. So I drove to the nearest hospital and I parked the car and I carried her in and I told them, and they gave her a bed. And I called my Angels Reiki friends and said, okay, my daughter is in the emergency, please send energy. And I opened to Archangel Raphael and a few others. But I couldn't start doing any healing. I had just asked for guidance, protection, and to be a channel for the energy of Archangel Raphael for my daughter. And I was repeating this 3 times and I couldn't do anything because somebody came running behind and said, Madam, is that car yours, the silver color car? I said, yes. Please move it because that's where the ambulance parks. And so I said, okay, let me give you the key. Can you do it? And they said, no, you have to do it yourself. So I had to leave my daughter on the hospital bed. She was unconscious. I just told a nurse to quickly keep an eye on her and quickly move the car and come. These are helpless moments, I must say. And so I go, park the car elsewhere, come running in, and she's sitting up and talking to someone. She's sitting up on the bed and happily chatting away with the nurse. So, yes, we can take them to the hospital, but the hospital takes time to do things. The nurse hadn't done anything, the doctor wasn't there, but the angels work on them immediately. So, I hope that story inspires you. Let me tell you how it's done. So this is for self-healing. I'm not going to touch on healing others today. I'm not sure whether I'll be guided to do that in my series. But let me just tell you how it's done. This is for self-healing, healing yourself. So you could do this any time of the day, even just after you wake up or just as you're about to fall asleep, or somewhere in the middle of the day, or at your office desk, or while you're cooking if you suddenly feel some kind of change in your body and you need some sudden care, or you're woken up in the middle of the night with something unusual happening. First thing, call them, because that's quicker than the ambulance and the doctors, because that takes time to come. They are instant, right? So what we do is we keep our left hand on our heart chakra, and then we keep our right hand over our left hand. Yes, very much like Mother Mary's pose. Very true. And then we say, repeat after me. Yes, I would encourage you to do that. Try this now. Repeat after me. I ask for guidance, protection, and to be a channel for the energy of Archangel Raphael. I ask for guidance, protection, and to be a channel for the energy of Archangel Raphael. I ask for guidance, protection, and to be a channel for the energy of Archangel Raphael. Now, as we do this, you might notice slight changes in your body or your mood. You might feel slight currents or like a thrill or a light-hearted feeling, a bit of joy. Anything that you feel is how this Archangel Raphael's energy is working on you for your betterment. It would light your aura up. For example, if we had a Kirlian camera, it would have shown the difference of your aura before this, during this, and after this, how the changes happen. If you had an aura machine, or if you were at a healing center where you have an aura machine, you will see the energy being magnified and the chakras getting balanced and widened. the energy field widening. Of course, if we had some form of microscopy to see what's going on inside the cells and the blood vessels and the entire system, whether the physical part of it or the glands associated with the chakras which guide the functioning of each of those organs. For example, the thymus gland is connected to the heart chakra, is connected to the heart. The pineal gland is connected to the crown chakra and is connected to the brain and all the organs inside your head. Similarly, the adrenal gland connected to the stomach organs and that chakra associated with that region. It's all connected. So the moment you work on the chakra or the energy field, it affects the gland and then the organ. Simple as that. Because that's the powerhouse for that organ. So if there are blockages and depletions of those chakras, those organs are going to malfunction. But when you connect with the tremendous power of an angel, Archangel Raphael, who is dedicated to the healing of people, you're automatically setting things right at the most fundamental level of the chakras. And he is on call 24/7 and doesn't charge anything, right? And he's able to go beyond the physical limitations and arrange changes that help you to heal and live in comfort and peace. Just make sure you do this regularly so that your system becomes accustomed to more and more of Archangel Raphael's energy and you become friends basically. Just be friends with him. Be best friends with Archangel Raphael so that even if you have to travel for work or on holiday, go far away where you're not sure what the healthcare system is, it's okay. You've got Archangel Raphael around. Nothing to fear. Yes, and if he feels that you need a certain type of medication, he will guide you to it. For example, this happened to me was it yesterday? No, on Saturday, 2 days ago. So that night, there was some unusual thing in my body that woke me up, and for a moment I was startled, and I quickly called on Archangel Raphael and Archangel Michael for better measure, and everything became normal and I fell asleep. But the next morning, my daughter's school fair was on, and I felt it would not be a good idea to go because sometimes when there are crowds, I feel there's an overload of spike proteins, which I sense it kind of has a negative impact. And in that particular space, it's a very small space, and they put tents. The ventilation is not that good because there are so many parents and children crowding around. I remember last year when I went to that fair, the next day I was feeling very weak. So I didn't want to repeat it, and because of what happened that day, I thought, yeah, it's a warning. I must not expose myself unnecessarily. So I dropped my daughter, giving her specific instructions to stay with her friend and the friend's mom. And I was guided to walk to this place and get a juice. Normally I think, okay, should I go to this place or that place? Because there are so many eateries around that school, but I was so sure that I'm going to this one place, which is a tiny space in the corner of a car park. It's called Palavala. It's made with clay. The structure is such a simple village structure which you never find in Colombo. somehow, and they have lovely juices, very affordable and very fresh. As I ordered the juice, I noticed tiny plants. I thought, oh, you sell plants. And then I remembered, yes, my aunt had sent a video saying soursop leaves, guava leaves, mango leaves. They would be fantastic as smoothies because it had so many medicinal properties. So I remembered that. So I said, do you have fruit plants? And they said, yes, yes, on the other side. So I went around and I said, oh, is that a guava plant? Let me have it. And I look up and suddenly I see the board of one doctor who had made a lovely VAC recovery medicine. And I knew him as the doctor from the Karapitiya General Hospital, Sri Lanka. I had heard of this medicine, but I never knew where to find it. And even one of my Toastmaster friends had told me, please, can you find out where I can get that? So I said, yes, I will. But at that time, I was thinking, now, how am I to find this medicine? But somehow, as I looked up, the poster was there, that doctor's image. And I said, oh, do you have that here? And they said, yes, it's available. See, we have this, we have the anti-COVID medicine, we have the VAC recovery. I said, wow, and I said, well, there's a person who's looking for it because of the transmission or shedding effects. I would like to try it too, but let me ask, can I talk to the doctor? So the lady of the shop said, my husband is a good friend of the doctor's. They were part of the initial stage of developing this and distributing it at the times of lockdown. They used a trishaw or a tuk-tuk and a bike and got these medicines to the ICUs and the hospitals and helped patients to get into hospitals who were not allowed to get into hospitals. They had done a fantastic job during that time. So I asked him, do you think I should take it as well? And they said, yes, you can take, because if you're feeling some effects from transmission, you can take it, because this is a natural plant called Madhurutala. In the Sri Lankan villages, when there are snake bites, they put the plant on the snake bite because it draws out the toxin. So the main ingredient, he said, is that, but there are so many other ingredients. And he said how he connected people together and how the doctor was able to utilize the specialist knowledge of his brother, who had been working on anti-cancer research with a Japanese team. So they knew exactly how certain ingredients affect the physical functions of the body. So they put together this fantastic medicine called VAC recovery. So how did this happen that I was guided there? I could have gone to at least 10 places I could have gone to instead of this. But I went there, and through the plants, I went to the other side, because otherwise I would not have seen that poster, because it was facing a different side. I don't have to go that way if I only buy my juice and go back. But I saw it, and all these connections happen because you're working with the angels. I give credit to my guardian angels and Archangel Raphael. Perhaps he needed this message going out to the world, that there are ways, even if you regret certain choices you have taken in the past, and even if it fills you with a bit of trepidation and fear, now what will happen? Don't worry, you can always go to supernatural sources, light surgeons, doctors of the universe, doctors who are also, with their eyes they can scan you, and with their thoughts they can operate on you. They can do all these fantastic things for you. So my job here, I felt, is to make you familiar with them, to make you aware that they do exist and they do step in. All you have to do is ask, whether you have medical insurance or you don't have medical insurance, whether you trust in the hospitals or you don't trust in the hospitals, whether you have the money to spend or you don't have the money to spend. It's all right. It's all right. There is always a healer out there waiting to help you. And let's do it one more time. You keep your left hand on your heart chakra. keep your right hand on that and you say, I ask for guidance, protection, and to be a channel for the energy of Archangel Raphael. I ask for guidance, protection, and to be a channel for the energy of Archangel Raphael. I ask for guidance, protection, and to be a channel for the energy of Archangel Raphael. Now enjoy this healing from I feel a message that he really wanted you to know that he exists. I feel him thanking me, and I'm feeling, what, you're thanking me? But he is, because he really wanted you to know that he's there, that you can count on him. That's how angels are. You don't need to put appointments, wait in queues. No, they would just, sometimes even when you forget them, they come. If you're in the habit of normally calling them, if you do forget them, like when I did with my daughter the very first time, they do come because they know that they are welcome. And if you have to send a loved one in an ambulance, remember to send Archangel Raphael with them. Or if a loved one from far away says they are not feeling well, or your children are sent to school and it takes a while to pick them up and you've got a call from school that they are not well, first send Archangel Raphael. And it's fantastic if you can play nice, relaxing music while you do your self-healing. In fact, you can make this part of your self-care routine. You brush your teeth, you put your wash, change into your pajamas, lie down and open to Archangel Raphael. So if there's anything at all that you picked up during the day, you can clear it up. And even as you sleep, you can ask him to heal you so that you wake up with a different level of energy. Of course, you can do your steam inhalations. Once when I was doing steam inhalations, I was guided to put a certain stone in the steaming bowl. There was a lapis lazuli. It's a bluish stone with streaks on it. And yes, that was during lockdown and I had COVID at the time. And I felt in the mornings when the sun was out, I was energized. But in the night, sometimes I felt a little down, energy-wise and mood-wise. But in the morning with the sun, so I knew the sun has a healing effect. So this is because we are intuitively healing ourselves and we have not been taught by books. It's always feeling the energy and understanding what is needed. Yes, so that day I started doing the steam inhalations and suddenly my daughter said, Mama, why are you quiet? And I realized I had fallen asleep doing the steam inhalation because the lapis lazuli was having some impact, and then I was finally relaxing and my breath was so easy after a long time that I had just fallen asleep with the towel over my head and doing the steam inhalation. So try and see whether this crystal works and try and ask Archangel Raphael, if there's a crystal that I should put in the steaming bowl, what should it be? Develop that one-on-one connection, even if you don't hear them, right? They hear you. That's what I love the most. I'm not so tuned in that I hear them or know what they're saying to me all the time. But there are times I just get a sense of, yeah, I should do it. And that's actually when you're really connected. I'll give you another example. Working with angels, children are naturally doing this. I remember my friend Antonia from Canada told me about the hydrogen peroxide 3% strength being used as a spray. So you spray 6 times and you can do it a couple of times. It clears the lungs. It's a 3% because what we find in our part of the world, the strength is 6%. So you have to dilute it 50-50 with clean water and then put it into this spray. I know in America you get the 3% also off the counter, but in Sri Lanka it's definitely you have to dilute it. So check the percentage. It has to be 3%. So I went looking for the spray bottle. I went to the nearby Pico supermarket. They said, sorry, we don't have. I said, do you know where it's available? Then they checked on the computer and said, oh, it's far away. There was a branch. And I thought, okay, at times like these, you have to do things like this. And we drove all the way and we found the place. And then it was a huge mall with thousands of items. And I asked them, okay, where do you get the spray bottle? So they were looking around. They didn't know where it was. And these are clear plastic bottles with no stickers or no colorful images. Just the shopkeeper was going to look around and then he was going to go to the office to find in the computer. When my little daughter, how old was she? End of 2019, she was 6. As we were walking, she just put her hand into a plastic waste paper basket and she pulled it out, and here was the spray bottle that everybody was looking for. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. Somehow the angels were watching and got through to the little one who was better connected at that time than me. Maybe I was like a little flustered at the time trying to find it after coming all this way. But the little one just, how did she do that? It wasn't on a shelf. It was on the way in a plastic waste paper basket where they were using it to store it. That's the power of making friends with angels. Your children are well connected. Encourage them to get to know those angels better. And I'm sure there are downloadable healings from Archangel Raphael where you get a beautiful image of him and the frequencies. But of course, the phone is the problem. The phone brings bad vibes. So make sure it's kept far away, at least 3 feet away. But don't sleep with the phone in your room. You can connect with Archangel Raphael direct. I think it's always good to go direct, whether you're going to a authority figure or agency or the angels, just go direct. You don't need in between people. I hope this session helps you. I hope it gives you confidence that you're in a healing universe. Yes, Earth might go through difficult periods. Sometimes the media might hype it and induce fear and worry. Remember, whatever they come up with on Earth, the angels have a solution for it. And if you need a particular medicine, remember, you will be guided to it. You can ask for it. You can say, I need this medicine, Archangel Raphael. If I need this medicine, please connect me with the right source. Please help me find it. Just ask. Just place the order with the divine and they will do it. So many beautiful stories, and I look forward to hearing about your stories in the comments below. And I'm sure there will be many to share, past, present and future. I wish you all the best and blessings from me and Archangel Raphael.